After 22 months of war and no clear end to the conflict in Gaza in sight, the Israeli Prime Minister is facing pressure domestically to come up with some sort of solution. And that's quite aside from the growing international condemnation of the humanitarian crisis which is gripping the Strip. Agencies saying famine and starvation have taken hold, and Palestinian health authorities revealing in excess of 60,000 people having been killed during the course of the war. Benjamin Netanyahu is facing criticism from his own people, frustrated at the amount of time, energy and money being spent on a war which has failed to deliver on its key objectives, namely the return of the remaining Israeli hostages and the destruction of Hamas. But the Prime Minister told a cabinet meeting earlier his resolve is clear.
We must continue to stand together and fight together to achieve all our war objectives. The defeat of the enemy, the release of our hostages, and the assurance that Gaza will no longer pose a threat to Israel. Later this week, I will convene the Cabinet to instruct the IDF on how to achieve these three objectives, all of them without exception.
Now, that may not actually result in a change in course too drastic for the Israeli military, and there are already reports in the Israeli media that troops are being withdrawn from Gaza and that the military is of the opinion it's taken as much territory as it possibly can to this point without jeopardising the safety of those remaining Israeli hostages. 50 still held in Gaza, 20 of whom are believed to still be alive. 2 of those living hostages have been seen in videos released by Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group. The appearance of Braslavski and Evyatar, both gaunt and frail, sparking anger in the Israeli community, from government ranks accusing the groups of starving the hostages, and from members of the public who may well agree with that but are also critical of the Netanyahu government for failing to strike a deal to bring them home and end the war. Protesters making their voices heard outside the Prime Minister's offices in Jerusalem. Israel's foreign minister is accusing world leaders and the international media of failing to give the plight of hostages enough attention.
Hamas and Islamic Jihad are using the starvation and torture of hostages as part of a deliberate and well-planned sadistic propaganda campaign. These organizations also planned the starvation campaign of lies together.
Israel insists it is getting more aid into the Strip, but it is also putting the responsibility and the blame for the situation on the UN and other agencies, saying they aren't picking up those supplies and distributing them quickly enough. But humanitarian agencies say what is getting in is a drop in the ocean compared to what is actually needed to tackle this situation when many Palestinians are on the verge of death.